here, Beyond the Airwaves, the Infinity Project. And since it's Monday, that means it's time for Monday Mania. In fact, it's our last Monday Mania of the year 2020.
Of
And
the 2020 Beyond the Airwaves season.
yeah.
That sounds better.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want everyone to realize we are on the last week of season 8, wasn't it?
I think it's 8.
7 or 8, one of the
Yeah.
two.
Mm-hmm.
Which means the next time you all will hear us, we will be officially in season 9.
Yeah.
Yay! That makes us happy.
Yeah. And something else that makes us happy, the Electoral College.
Yep.
Yeah!
Well, let's get the introductions out of the way first, and then we'll deal with that.
Right. Well, anyway, I'm your host for tonight. I am Oddball Extreme. I'm currently joined on the line by two of my crazy cohorts. First, we have our master and creator, Frodo. Hello, Frodo.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we still have our girl who is still not the sus, Janet. Hello, Janet.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight?
Good. We
Here's
three
the
be sussin'.
Oh, hold on, hold on. I'll be
Okay.
back in a minute.
Okay.
here's the problem. I know she's sus.
I'm a sus.
There-
You're a sus. We're all susses. Like Dr. Pepper.
um, we may now. I do want to make a mention. Even though we're not running actual shows during the 2 weeks during between Christmas and New Year's,
Hmm.
we may post some gaming videos.
Yeah.
We
Hmm.
may post some like
Hey, you know what we may do? If push comes to shove, if nobody's doing anything Christmas Day, we can have a Christmas Day Among Us marathon.
I probably will be with my parents-in-law, but
Okay.
after I'm done with that, I could probably join in
Yeah.
because I have my family.
Yeah, I'll have my family too, but it's just that, we might do it in the evening when, everybody may have gone home. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
We
Yeah,
do it as one of those definite maybes.
Yeah. One thing
yeah,
one thing I would love to be able to do, Among Us New Year's.
yes, I
That would
love
be kind
that
of fun.
idea,
Among Us New Year's.
honey.
And I will stay up past midnight through hell or high water. I don't care how damn sleepy I am.
Hold on one second.
Okay. And Sanjo was in the chat room. Hello,
Hi,
Sanjo.
Sanjo!
All right, I hope you don't, but yeah, Sajo, it's good to see you. I want to say welcome to the show as always. Um, and as far as Among Us, we love the game. We've
Mm-hmm.
fallen deeply in love with it.
I
Actually,
didn't. I didn't think I was gonna like it till I played it a couple times.
Yeah, me too.
there's actually a way to get mods on the game too now.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, there's a Christmas mod
Mm-hmm.
where you have Santa, two elves, and seven reindeer.
Nice.
And all you have to do is touch the reindeer
Mm-hmm.
as if you're Santa or an elf,
Uh-huh.
and they turn into captured.
Oh, nice.
And then the reindeer can go into the jail area and re-allow them out.
Nice.
It's a little variant, but it's on. If you want to look it up, Shirley,
Okay.
go to skeld.net.
Okay, scale.net. I can do that right now.
Yeah, you can even pull it up and put it up on screen share if you want.
Sure, give me just a second. Scale.net. Alright, give me just a second.
Okay, I've lost my Zoom window.
Okay.
There we are.
Alright.
Well, I didn't mean screen share. I meant
Oh,
on the. Yeah, that's what I meant.
okay.
What
Let's
did you
see.
mean,
Oh,
chat?
get your own Among Us imposter server? That's interesting.
Yeah,
Cool. Discord server, Android app, Patreon. Let's see.
yeah. We can do all kinds of stuff with this.
Cool.
And the way to get started is right there.
Mhm.
Right where it says get started. Read it.
Okay. Download this file. Oh, okay. Cool.
You just replace one file
Mhm.
in your app data, local low, inner sloth, Among Us folder,
Mhm. Okay.
and it will enable mods.
Cool. I think I'll do. Let's see. I'll do that
So
after
what
the show.
do
Not
the
right now,
mods
but
do? What do the mods do? Just make the game more interesting?
Yeah, there's like a mod where you can stand up you as anyone. You don't have to be the imposter. You can stand over the vents and teleport randomly throughout the map.
oh wow.
There's a zombie mod where one person starts as the zombie, the rest try and run away from them,
Mhm.
and all you have to do is touch the players and they turn into zombies.
Ooh, creepy.
Um
We gotta play that one.
Hold on, there's a few more I'm going to tell you. There's
Cool.
a there's a funny color mod where every 30 seconds
Mhm.
your color changes
Ah.
randomly.
Yeah. Excuse me, everybody, for stepping away. I have to turn my TV down.
And then there's the last real good mod is the what was it? Uh there's one more that I'm missing. I'd have to look at it, but there's a few different mods. And there's also a little trick where we can actually do proc proximity chat.
oh wow.
So if you're playing the game right,
Mhm.
you can keep the voices on, like you could still hear everyone,
Uh huh.
and the closer you get to people, the louder they become.
Yeah. I gotcha.
So like if you're across the map from me, you won't be able to hear me.
Right.
But if I come up right next to you, you can hear me perfectly.
Mhm.
Does
That's
that
cool.
make sense?
I'm gonna save this as a favorite because one thing I like right here. It said uh you can play on scale.net even when official servers are down.
Yep. And here's the cool thing. You want to know how easy it is to switch back and forth? When you're in the multiplayer online view of
Mhm.
Among Us,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You know that little icon in the bottom right corner
Yeah.
that shows the globe?
Uh huh.
Normally that only does one thing.
What's that?
Switches you between North America, Asia, and Europe.
Ah.
But when you're in Skeld.net, if you look at it, it'll literally say Skeld.net.
Mhm.
And so you don't have to worry. You know what you're in.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I just saved it as a favorite, so like I'll check that out in a couple days, just because tomorrow I got a lot of housework to do. Plus, I think Mom want to do something at Walmart, and yes,
You
don't
don't
worry,
have
we got
any
a
work
plan.
tomorrow? You don't
No.
have any.
I have no appointments tomorrow.
Good. Then I could call you and call you during the day if I wanted to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks.
Yep.
And tonight we're going to start off by announcing that everything is official.
Yep.
The Electoral College has met, and for those that don't know,
And they have spoken.
well, let me explain, Jan. For
Okay.
those that don't know or don't live in America, the electors are the people that actually choose the president.
Right.
Okay. While Americans vote, the votes that you get from that determine the electors. And the electors themselves actually select the president.
Right. And um during the election, we actually I believe it's like in the summertime you have to choose the electors.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
But okay, so when you do in America, when you do an election, like I was saying,
Mhm.
your votes don't directly count, but like if you're in Wyoming, your votes count for a lot,
Mhm.
whereas if you're like in Cali, your votes count for very little.
Yeah.
what about Arizona?
Media,
Arizona was a swing state. Remember?
yeah. But anyway, to explain it better, essentially every state has their own electors,
Mhm.
and every state has the number of electors each state has is directly determined by how many
Electoral votes.
represent representatives and senators you have in that state.
Yeah.
So you're always guaranteed to have at minimum 3 electors.
Right. Because in my state, I've got 7 representatives and, of course, the 2 senators. So we have 9 total.
Exactly. In Iowa, 2 and 4, so we have 6.
Mhm.
California has like 53 or something like that. Most states are winner take all with electors.
Right.
There's two exceptions to that: Maine and Nebraska. Now, in Maine, it works differently, but I've read the rules in Nebraska.
Mhm.
There's a couple of districts that are odd. One
Yeah.
of them being the Omaha district.
Yeah, I heard about that. I did hear about that.
And what
Don't
happens?
forget to check the chat. Check and see if anybody's waiting to get in.
I'm looking at it. Let me see this. Saju said the Northeast is getting ready for the major snowstorm this coming late Wednesday into Thursday morning. That is true. I've been
Yep.
hearing about that on the news. So
Hey,
now back to
Well,
Sajo.
this.
we'll get into that here in a minute,
Yeah.
okay? Um
That's
so once your main election happens, so the election that happened on the 3rd or whatever
mm-hmm.
of November, yeah, it was the 3rd. Once that main election happens, your vote determines which electors represent your state.
Right.
Okay? Now, continuing on, today was the day that the electors actually met in each state and cast votes determined by the votes that the people did.
Right.
While yes, our votes do directly count for how many electors it is, we do not directly elect,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is kind of stupid, but
Yeah. See the problem. See, let me be the counterpoint of that. The electoral college. Yeah, it may seem like it's a bit obsolete, antiquated, and all. But here's the problem. If we were to take that away, California and New York are the 2 most populous states in the country. They'd run
yep,
away with it.
yep, there's that truth. So the electors basically determine what it is. That number that you keep hearing on election day, that 270,
Mm-hmm.
that's the point of no return for electors.
Right.
Once you cross that 270 threshold, there ain't no way for the other person to become president.
Right. And it's always race to get the 270, not necessarily who has the most at the end.
Yep, it's the race to 270.
Well, the only thing is, if let's say if it reaches a if it had reached a point where one person had 269, the other had two six. Let's see, there's 538 total.
It would
So
be 269, 269.
yeah, if that happens, then it would go to the popular vote
Yep.
because nobody got the 270 first,
And if the popular vote is tied, it then goes to the House of Representatives.
mm-hmm. As
So
stated in the Constitution.
exactly, we're doing constitutional law here, people.
That's right. We're doing a history lesson in constitutional law. Because here's the thing. All these, all these files and lawsuits and things going on, saying there's fraud, fraud, fraud. Here's the problem. Somebody said they're not even looking at the evidence. I said affidavits are not evidence. Even some of the lawyers themselves have admitted that they have no evidence because they would know right off the bat they'd be committing perjury.
Um, JJ, yeah, we haven't heard if all the electors have finished voting. However, the electors that have finished voting have pushed Biden to that 270 mark. So, because of that, it is over.
Okay, let's see. Electoral college map. Let's see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, the Electoral College has officially announced that Biden Harris won.
Yep.
So we will have a 46th president of the United States and a 49th vice president of the United States in Mr. Joe Biden and Mrs. Kamala
Kamala
Harris.
Harris.
All right.
Well, you
Okay.
know
It looks
what?
like okay.
Kamala Harris has made history, I think.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
but let's let Shirley speak. Go.
Yeah. It
Okay.
looks like I'm looking at this map here. It looks like all the states. Yeah, all the states are done.
Yep, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually the electoral college is done by about 5
Mm-hmm.
Eastern.
Yeah, and of course it said Mr. Biden won states with 306, President Trump with 232. Despite Mr. Trump's rage at his loss, his efforts to subvert the outcome have been met with resounding defeat in court, and the mechanics of certifying the election results and appointing electors by both Democratic and Republican officials have proceeded as designed. Of course, there was sound and fury from the president, but the Electoral College's ratification of Mr. Biden as the 46th president was routine and anticlimactic. In other words, there had been planned protests, but a lot of them fizzled.
Yep.
Why don't they give up and go crawl back under the rock with Trump?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Janet. While we may want them to, here's the thing. They're still Americans,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to need them.
Yeah. Let's see. Listen to this.
Point taken.
In Michigan, a group pretending to be quote GOP electors unquote trying to gain admittance to the Senate chair was turned around by a security guard. Now in Arizona, citing security concerns, it never disclosed in advance where the electors were going to meet. I say that was a smart move.
Kudos.
I agree with you, but I just want to say right now, for those that support Trump and believe that maybe our system was rigged against him, you have every right to your personal beliefs.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I am not going to take that away from you. However, I have to fact check and say the electors have spoken, the electors have verified we will not have a second Trump
Yep.
term.
Let's see. Now, according to this, the next important date on the calendar leading to the inauguration of the new president is January 6th, when Congress meets in joint session to formally accept the Electoral College results. As in recent presidential elections, it is likely that challenges will be made to some states' electoral votes, but they are all but certain to fail.
Yep. And this is the next step. And
Mm-hmm.
as I was telling Shirley and Janet earlier before we came into the show, I was I've actually done a hard study on the government even when I was in high school, and the information I learned about the electors
Mm-hmm.
basically says the elector's word is final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Yeah, but the thing is, let's see. There's still the matter of the Georgia Senate runoff the day
Hmm.
before on the 5th.
Yep, and that Senate runoff will determine who controls all the power.
Yep.
Well, I can tell y'all one thing.
What was that?
My meal this evening was cat approved.
What was it?
Oh, I made a sauce pasta today using deer hamburger as the meat.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So venison. So you, I've eaten venison before, and usually it's dry.
No. Was my venison dry today, honey? Not at all. It was delicious. And that's a fact.
Huh.
My wife can tell you my cooking is amazing.
Yeah, that's good. You ever thought competing in like one of those shows on
All
Food
right, I
Network?
heard your cat. I
I
just heard your
heard,
cat
I heard him.
squawk.
I heard Maddie.
No, actually, you heard his mama
Oh.
because Maddie's trying to get up on her boobs.
Oh, have you ever had a cat make biscuit? Hey, Sarah, have you ever had a cat the one of the cats make biscuits on your boobs?
Yes, she has. Maddie made biscuits on her boobs before.
Oh boy. Okay.
You know what that expression means, right, Shirley?
Yeah, I got it.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I just want to make it clear to everyone right now, while we as a show will respect your opinions.
Mhm.
If anyone in the chat tries to post a falsehood,
Mhm.
we will fact check you live on air
Yeah.
because that's
Joker's gonna come in a little late.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
know
It's okay. It's cool.
I
Okay,
saw
I was
that.
just looking. I was
Excuse
just
me.
looking at the
Sorry.
chat. I was just looking at the chat.
That's fine.
But
Está
yeah,
no problema.
I just hope that no one gets offended if we do fact check you.
Yeah. I believe that, but of course, we find that if we find it to be false, they're gonna say, "Oh no, you're CNN believers. It's fake news." You know what I mean?
I don't go through just one source to get my
Yeah. Oh
information.
no, no, no. I don't either. It's like, I keep hearing about Thundercats Roar being canceled. It's like I need like at least two sources to confirm it. You know,
Exactly.
it's like I'm not going to post anything until I'm sure it's verified.
Yeah.
Because
But
that's what journalists are supposed to do anyway.
and that's what we work to be in
Mhm.
this show is essentially we try to be journalists.
Yep.
Even though none of us have a journalist degree.
Actually, I do.
You do?
Yes. When I went to AUM back in the 90s, my degree was in liberal arts, and I did have courses in journalism. So
Okay. Well, we do have a journalist in the crew.
yeah, it's just I couldn't get to any TV network. So
But that's fine. The fact that you're there and you have the journalist degree or whatever
hmm
puts an air of legitimacy in our.
right, because one thing I learned, one of my favorite classes was media law and ethics. The whole idea is you're supposed to try to be as unbiased as possible. Of course, nowadays it's kind of hard when you got all the networks either going one way or the other.
They're gonna find you. They're gonna get you, get you, get you, get you.
hmm
But
Remember, one way or another by
Yeah.
bonding.
Yeah, I remember that one.
well, and here's the thing. Like we've always said, we are a balanced crew.
hmm
Yes, we have right wing. Yes, we have left wing. Yes, we have centrists.
hmm
And honestly, I like it that way so that we have multiple sides to every our discussion.
Right, because there could be something where Frodo says something like, "I'm going to play devil's advocate," blah blah blah, like that. But we do it with respect. We don't try to go name calling like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Because I hate that. I really hate that. But,
One of my aunts posted something on her Facebook.
mm-hmm.
Reminder that there are no, zero blue states, only blue cities. I'm sorry, but this aunt, she's about 60 shades shy of sane.
Mm. Yeah, it's it's amazing where through this whole process, there have been Republican secretaries of state, saying, "Hey, this is certified. We've got no fraud. Deal with it."
Well, JJ, I appreciate you saying that. She says, for anyone who's not live on the stream right now, and I'm going to quote this exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Lately, with all the crap on the news, you can't never know who you can trust.
I agree with
Now,
that statement too.
I do too. JJ, I want to address that directly for a minute, and not because I'm angry. My point is to say this. Beyond the airwaves, the Infinity Project makes its best effort to be factual at all times. While, yes, we may have some stories that are not entirely for sure to be factual,
Mm-hmm.
we do not try and push anything that would be considered fraudulent onto our listeners.
Right.
When you listen to us, we have made and continue to make the effort to say we are not biased. While
Mm-mm.
yes, we do have individual bias on us
Mm-hmm.
individually, the fact that we have the balance in our team means we don't have a collective bias.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
Yeah. I feel like you gotta have differences of opinion. And because I found out something interesting, Parlor, that's that like ultra right wing conservative alternative to Facebook. People are actually dropping out of Parlor because like we don't have anybody to debate for starters. And there's another situation where Parlor may be getting into some serious trouble because apparently some people are hosting like porn sites on there.
Well, and
So.
it's possible. There's also another alternative to Parlor and Facebook that I'm actually a part of. It's called You're Free Here,
Hmm.
and they have an app called Yori.
Ah. Yeah. Well, let's see.
and
Oh, go
and
ahead. I'm sorry.
essentially you can you can be whatever you want on Your Free Here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is not just a right wing place, it's everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also one thing that uh people that we are able to do. There is a group hidden away. If you want to be a part of it, there is an adult area for it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not overt.
Right.
Like, if you want to have access to the adult, you can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm posting the link to the group, to the page in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Yori is the app name. You're Free Here is the website.
Okay.
So yeah, and I mean, I'm a part of it because I don't feel the need to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like Parlor where it's an echo chamber.
Right.
But yeah, so now let's get to the storm.
Yeah.
As some people have alluded to, Mr. Sajo, would you please report to the nurse's office immediately? Mr. Sajo to the nurse's office.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's do this real quick for 5 seconds. All right. Now where the heck is my radar? There you are.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yep. That's right, folks. This party is brought to you by the letter X.
So we have expectations for earlier this next couple days for a major snowstorm to bear down on the northeast
Yep.
United States.
And
If
there's our. Go ahead.
when it does happen, and it's very likely, it's the Weather Channel has named it Gale.
Oh wow. Where the heck is Flynn? Yeah, where's Flynn at? That storm Flynn, because I remember there's a storm named Flynn.
I don't know, but hold on one second.
At least the name is Flynn, not Michael Flynn.
Sorry, had to yell at idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
so I
wait till we get to the story. You got that little bit of a rant rocket I like to pull.
I will say, for those that are in the Northeast, please be ready. This does look like it could dump a few inches of snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate that fucking word.
Oh,
Fuck.
So there is a song in Trans-Siberian Orchestra's song. What is Christmas? Tinsel fairy tales. But anyway, there's a part in the thing that goes, snow. I don't even like the sound of it.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Word can be extinguished from the English language for all I'm concerned. I fucking hate it.
Well,
Well,
hey, at least you could bundle up and clothes to keep warm. Try doing the opposite here in Arizona in the middle of summer to keep cool.
yeah, and think about it. We get snow here. It's like it's a great, exciting thing, but it only takes about 1 inch to shut everything down here.
Here in Iowa.
No, here in
No, no.
Montgomery.
What I'm
Oh,
saying is, here in Iowa, we don't shut down even if we get 4 feet.
I believe now. I remember I lived in Ohio for a year and a half, and I remember from what I remember hearing, the only two ways at that time that school could shut down in the winter: blizzard or ice storm.
Yep.
Now, I don't know how they do it today, but this was
Well,
like back in the mid '80s, mid to late '80s. So
but yeah, I'm just gonna say this right now. I hope you don't I hope you don't get too much snow
yeah, and don't go panic buying milk and bread.
or chitter script.
Chitter script.
What?
What in the hell's chitter script?
Think about the word shitter script.
Oh, okay.
Chitter script. Cat litter.
No.
A shitty script.
Toilet paper.
Oh,
Oh, never heard of that called. I've heard
that's
it called ass wipe.
But yeah, that's something I made up. So
oh, okay.
um, I came up with that one. My wife is like, when I
Hey,
made
hey, who knows? You could end up in the dictionary.
it.
Yeah, let's see. Me, I had rain. Believe it or not, there was a brief tornado touchdown not far from Birmingham early this morning.
Whoa.
Yeah, there were reports of trees down, but not too much damage, no injuries, but it was like a very, very brief tornado touchdown very early this morning. I think it was about Hoover, I think. It was either Hoover, Bessemer, not Birmingham itself, but one of the suburbs.
Well, that's good. I'm glad no one really got hurt.
Yeah, I remember reports of trees down and such, but nothing. Nobody got injured. I don't think there were any injuries. Even if there were, they're probably minor. But
I'll be right back.
okay, they're probably minor injuries. But I wonder if I get. What would really be cool if I could bring up the storm reports on this thing. Let's see what I can do. Let's see. Nope, doesn't look like it. Darn it. It'd be nice if I could. Oh, great,
Well,
my map went black. There we go. Hello, Mike. There's our resident Joker. Hello, Mike.
sorry I'm late. I was watching Cuphead with Ash.
Ah,
It was very good, very funny.
ladies and gentlemen, here's Cuphead. Oh, get this. Oh, get this. Here's something fun. I caught a Durant in Pokemon
Okay,
Go, and I
let's
decided to have some real fun, and I renamed it
yeah.
Jimmy Durante.
God, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You know who Jimmy Durante is, right, Janet?
Yeah.
And he goes, cha cha cha, and he just happened to be the narrator of Frosty the Snowman.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
Yeah. So those that are gonna be hit with the snowstorm, I apologize,
Yeah, we're sorry that Mother Nature's pitching a bitch again.
but I
Mother
will.
Nature is not just pitching a bitch. Mother Nature is picking up people and kicking them in the nuts.
No, no,
Oh,
they're not kicking him. She's not kicking him in the nuts yet.
Yet.
The thing is, the minute she starts kicking people in the nuts is when she dubs 16 feet of snow on top of them.
At one time, yeah.
How would you like that, Joker?
yeah, no thanks.
Oh God, if that happened to us here in Alabama, we'd be paralyzed for weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, now I do know this: we had a terrible ice storm back in 1980. I know we lost power for at I think we lost power for about a week.
Wow.
We never had it that bad. That is the only time I remember an ice storm that bad.
I remember there was an ice storm back in like oh god, '06, '07. We had a very nasty ice storm that took down power for about less than a week, I believe, but ooh, it was nasty.
Mm.
Well, knock on wood, I live in Arizona, so I don't have to worry about shit like that.
Oh,
You
shut
may
up.
get the occasional snow flurries, but probably nothing that'll you know.
Well, I remember when my late boyfriend was alive, and we took my babysitting charges and my brother
What
up
the
to
heck was that?
That
Pokemon
was
Go.
Oh.
I took him up to the top of South Mountain,
Mhm.
all the way up to the top, and he tells me to look down at my feet, and I go, "What is it I'm supposed to be looking at?" And then I look up, and I go, "Wow, snowing!" And it was it was freakish.
mhm.
well, like I said with our show, we I'm just reiterating it for Mike. We strive for accuracy.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it's that important. And, and Frodo didn't realize when I went to Auburn University in Montgomery back in the 90s, I have a degree in liberal arts and I took journalism courses. So,
Mm.
and one of my favorite classes was media law and ethics.
Ooh.
So, learning you got to be unbiased and such, but of course, right now in this day and age, it's kind of hard to be unbiased, when you go it's either one side or the other.
And that's
Ooh.
why I like the show that we have because we've got representation from.
All sides,
Yep.
which is always a good thing.
True. Very true.
Because I guess part of the problem is you've got I'm just going to mention names like Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax. They're like really really far to the right, And then, of course, you got all the other ones that are sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes a little too far to the left. And let's say there's nobody in the middle. You're either this way or this way.
And honestly, I prefer to be in the middle so that we could be objective.
Yeah.
Mm.
And personally, I wish they would do away with the two-party system and just vote on people with the best qualifications for the job.
I like that idea
Hmm.
because actually, President Washington decried a two-party system.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He said that the two-party system in America would divide the country unneededly.
And which it has.
Hmm.
Yep. Am I saying he was wrong? Hell no.
Nope.
No, he's not wrong.
And people need to realize that this was warned about centuries ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyway, I think we're done with the map. And by the way, I should get some more rain Wednesday. Let's see.
Either way, I want everyone to know that even though we're approaching winter, do not let your guard down with severe weather.
Yeah.
Severe weather could still happen even when it's super cold out.
Yep.
Yep.
Because there is such a thing as the cold is the what's it the cold core tornado or something like that.
Yeah, cold core.
Mhm.
There's also the cold air funnels,
Mhm. I've
but
seen
the
I saw a snow NATO.
yep. There's also flame nados,
Yeah, the fire
Mm-hmm.
NATOs. In fact, there was like one fire NATO that was like actually rated an EF2.
and then you got the derechos and the all the other crazy shit.
Yeah. And speaking of crazy shit, you probably saw that post I had put up about Dr. Jill Biden.
Yeah, let's discuss this for a minute.
Yeah, let me go get the article since I've got it. I've got the thing.
Is this what you were talking about for your rant rocket thing?
Yes, I was. All right, now give me just a second to go find that thing. Yeah, meanwhile, I'm still excited they have Bob Barker's Prices Right on Pluto TV now.
She's an addict, everyone. We need to get her into P and R, um, P and RA.
PIRA. Price is Right Anonymous.
Eh.
Where you'll
PIRA.
always hear the loser horn. Too bad I can't play the sound, but boy, it would have helped. Alright, so anyway, first things first, I'm going to fire the Supernova Ramrock because frankly, this deserves it. So hang on for about 10 seconds. If I can find
Duck,
that doggone thing.
squat your
There it
head,
is.
and kiss your ass. It's gonna get nuclear in here.
Yep, here we go.
Oof.
Alright. Now, the original opinion piece appeared in the Wall Street Journal. Okay, so here it is. An opinion writer argued Joe Biden should drop the doctor. Okay, now, the interesting is the writer of the article, his name is Joseph Epstein. I wonder if he's related to Jeffrey. You know, that's the first thing came to my mind. Anyway, many women said Joseph Epstein's suggestion in the Wall
Mhm.
Street Journal was blatantly sexist and underscored the way men often dismiss women's credentials. So, do people who go by doctor need to carry stethoscopes? One writer in the Wall Street Journal seems to think so, at least when it comes to Dr. Jill Biden, who has a doctorate in education and calls herself Dr. Jill Biden. In an opinion piece published online on Friday, the author Joseph Epstein addressed Dr. Biden as kiddo and offered her advice on what may seem like a small but I think is not an important matter. Any chance you might drop the doctor before your name, he wrote. Dr. Jill Biden sounds and feels fraudulent, not to say a touch comic. If the reaction from Dr. Biden's spokesman and from legions of women in academia is any education, the answer is not a chance. If you have a doctorate in pharmacy or education or biology, it doesn't matter. Call yourself a doctor, said Sarah H. Par- Parcak, Parsak, a professor of anthropology at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, who has a PhD in archaeology from Cambridge University. You worked your rear end off for years to earn that. Shout it from the rooftops if you want to. It's your right. Damn tootin'. Let's see. Dr. Parsec, along with many others, said the suggestion that Dr. Biden not use the honorific was blatantly sexist and emblematic of the way many men question or disparage women's credentials. Some men are so threatened by educated women, said Audrey Trushke, an associate professor of South Asian history at Rutgers University, who called Mr. Epstein's piece a misogynist, self-absorbed screed. On Saturday, she was among a number of women who added doctor to their names on Twitter in solidarity with Dr. Biden. Michael LaRosa, a spokesman for Dr. Biden, called Mr. Epstein's piece a disgusting and sexist attack and urged the journal to remove it and apologize to Dr. Biden. Mr. Epstein declined to comment for this article. The journal did not immediately respond to a request for a comment on Saturday evening. The raw nerve touched by the piece underscored the enduring power of the title to letters that convey accomplishment, respect, and authority. In the 19th century, the title was widely contested, and people were sued for using doctor on calling cards or advertisements if they hadn't graduated from a recognized medical school, according to Naomi Rogers, a professor of the history of medicine at Yale University. When women began graduating from medical schools in the middle of the 19th century, they called themselves doctors, she said, but newspapers and critics gave them a more dismissive title, doctoress, indicating that they are women. Doctor came to be prized as a unisex honorific, Professor Rogers said. That was the word that women MDs sought. Professor Rogers, who has a PhD in history, doesn't often use the title doctor herself, she said, but understands why others with the degree would. I've certainly encountered a number of doctors in my professional life who are uncomfortable using the honorific term doctor for anyone who doesn't have an MD, she said, but I would call that an old fashioned view. I don't say this out loud to any of them, but I think, which of us studied for longer? Judith Martin, better known as the columnist Miss Manners, said her father, who had a PhD in economics, insisted on not being called doctor and implored his fiancée, Miss Martin's mother, to print new wedding invitations after the first version included the title. As my father used to say, I'm not the kind of doctor who does anybody any good. Miss Martin said in an interview on Saturday. He didn't feel it was dignified. I am well aware that this is a form of reverse snobbery. Still, Miss Martin said, I don't tell people what to call themselves, and I'm aware that women often have trouble with people who don't respect their credentials. Now,
I think it's bullshit.
yep. Oh, by the way, the New York Times House style allows for anyone with the earned doctorate, such as PhD or Ed or EDD, to be identified by the title on subsequent references, provided it is germane to the holder's primary current occupation. Mr. Epstein just happens to be 83 years old, and he's an essayist, author, and former editor of the American Scholar. He has been accused of advancing offensive views before. In a 1970 essay about homosexuality in Harper's Magazine, he called gay people cursed and an affront to our rationality. If I had the power to do so, I would wish homosexuality off the face of the earth, he wrote. Writing in the Weekly Standard in 2015, he lamented that the essay had often been mentioned, usually by professional gay liberationists, anytime that he writes something controversial. My only hope now is that on my gravestone the words noted homophobe aren't carved, Mr. Epstein wrote. In his piece this week in the Journal, Mr. Epstein said that he had taught at Northwestern University for 30 years, even though he held only a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Chicago. In a statement, Northwestern said Mr. Epstein had not been a lecturer at the university since 2003. Northwestern is firmly committed to equity, diversity, and inclusion, and strongly disagrees with Mr. Epstein's misogynistic views, it said. Addressing Dr. Biden, Mr. Epstein wrote, Your degree is, I believe, an EDD, a Doctor of Education, earned at the University of Delaware through a dissertation with the unpromising title Student Retention at the Community College Level, Meeting Students' Needs. A wise man once said that no one should call himself doctor unless he has delivered a child, Mr. Epstein said. Think about it, Dr. Jill, and forthwith dropped the doc. Dr. Biden, who holds two master's degrees and a doctorate in education from the University of Delaware, is clearly proud of her job as a community college professor. When her husband, President-elect Joseph R. Biden, takes office next month and she becomes First Lady, Dr. Biden plans to continue teaching at North Virginia Community College, where she has been an English professor since 2009. Douglas Emhoff, the husband of Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, said Dr. Biden had earned degrees through hard work and pure grit. She is an inspiration to me, to her students, and to Americans across this country, he wrote on Twitter. This story would never have been written about a man. And that's the end.
And he's dead on accurate,
Mm-hmm.
because if a man if Joe Biden were a man, just like so many hardcore Fox News fans said about Miss
Hillary.
Obama,
Oh, Miss Obama, yeah, Michelle Obama.
um, if Joe Biden a were still just a doctorate in education, as he puts it, and she decided, because she's a doctorate, but she at this point she's a male, he would never have said that to him, to a male Jill Biden. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not trying to be confusing, but
No, I got you.
it just pisses me off that people think that the only way to be a doctor is, oh, you have to give birth. Hello?
Mm.
Excuse me for 2 seconds. Joe Biden may not have given birth to someone else's children. However, she has two children of her own. I think having the children inside of her actually counts for more when it comes to his statement. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a legs to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
He has a leg to stand on. It's just the third leg and the other two are disabled.
Mm.
Oh, wait, you didn't catch that joke.
No.
Third leg?
Uh.
Uh, I got it. Third leg.
In other words, that's the only leg he has to stand on because he doesn't have any others. And his third leg is misogyny.
Hmm.
It's just like someone saying to Shirley or Ashley that they can't earn a degree because they're women.
I still say it's wrong. You know what my feelings are? And I'm talking about any job. My mom says doesn't like the idea that there's a female reporter reporting for the NFL. My mom does not like that.
Oh.
But whether you be an NFL reporter
Mm-hmm.
or a firefighter or a cop, as long as you could legitimately do the job, I say more power to you. But
Mm-hmm.
don't dumb down the job just because the person's female.
Here's my viewpoint on this whole thing, okay? And this is just how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
For centuries and centuries and centuries, women have been seen as the weak race, the weaker of the two sexes, the
Mm-hmm.
weaker of the two genders, the weaker. Here's the thing, and I'm going to get a little bit disturbing, so I apologize in advance, especially to you, Twitch, but it needs to be said like this. Okay?
Don't get us kicked out, all right?
Yeah.
The point's going to be valid, and you'll understand. first off, I'd love to see a man try to push a 16-pound child out from the lower head, if you will.
Oh, you want to know what my mom said earlier in the week?
Huh.
If men could go through labor the way women go through labor, we wouldn't have much of a population.
Yeah, you're right.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I do.
Uh, I I don't want to try and push a baby out from the lower head. No, thank you. That would hurt just a wee bit too much.
Just like getting hit in the nuts the hard way.
Oh no, it's like getting kicked in the nuts by
King Kong.
something inside you. And I and speaking as a male, I've had something done that I found was really disturbing and really painful, even though you wouldn't think it would be. I had a freaking Q-tip
Hmm.
put up there.
Ooh, not fun.
Oh,
Not fun.
Well,
ouch.
and here's the thing: that Q-tip was made of cotton, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Okay, it felt like a freaking wire brush, and I'm not joking. It actually felt like a wire brush going up there. So anyone who wants to say that women are weaker, yeah, SMD for real. Because I couldn't even handle a freaking toothpick up. I mean, not a toothpick, a freaking Q-tip up there.
Hmm. That would be kind of cool. Oh yeah, there is one.
Oh, it
Yeah.
would not be cool, Shirley.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I dozed off. Sorry.
How what I was talking about, Shirley,
Hmm.
was having a Q-tip stuck up
Oh, your
a man.
nose. Yeah, yeah, right. That's
No,
not cool.
not up your
No, no,
nose.
up the tip.
Up the. Oh, gotcha. Never mind. Got it.
Did I do right, Frodo?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and I can tell you from firsthand experience, it doesn't feel good.
I believe it. Yeah, I know we're running out of time, but I mean, so last week we can go over just a little bit. Now there is one more story that kind of got me upset because you got kids in Green Bay. They're protesting, saying, "Get the schools back open, get the schools back open." But boy, I saw some of the lamest excuses. Now it's like one girl was there saying, "Why are 15,000 students failing?" Okay, seriously. And then now, I'm not going to say this boy's name. He's a junior at Preble High School and shares his struggles with the crowd. I began to develop the terrible trait of procrastination and started to forget how to truly study for a test. It's my junior year, the hardest yet, and I have the worst grades I've ever had in school. What you might want to do? Get off that stupid game and do the damn homework.
Quit,
Exactly.
quit playing WoW
Yeah.
or
No,
whatever
no.
games you like to play.
Yeah.
More than likely, a kid that age is playing something that he really shouldn't be playing.
Mhm. It's like, it was like when I know I had schoolwork, it's like forget the apps, forget the games, I got work to do.
And that's the thing. If you're with this COVID-19 going on, we need people to understand that, you know, especially if you're not able to go to classes because of whatever reason,
Mhm.
right? You really should have a set study schedule for yourself,
Mhm.
whether that be 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, it doesn't freaking matter.
Yeah, it's like when I went to South, I did not have remote learning, but I did have online courses and such. And I worked on it all. I devoted time to it. I did not, falter. I did not stop to play games or apps or anything. It's like I got work to do. I'm going to get it done.
Yep.
and that's what's important. But it seems like, unfortunately, in today's age, it's like, kids think, oh, virtual learning is like, it's things will get easier. It's like, no, they don't.
In fact, if you think school gets easier just because you're not in the classroom, I've got news for you.
No, it doesn't.
It's actually harder to do classes when you don't have a structured place because, when you're in school,
Mhm.
it's structured and you really have no choice.
Mhm.
But when you're at home, you have all your shit near you.
Mhm.
I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, it's like students are trying to, but their grades aren't represented because how much can you do if you aren't meeting in person? You can do plenty actually. If you just sit down, stop playing the games, and just do the work.
Yep.
That's what now here's something. Uh Action 2 News, this is where I got this article from. 27% of grades for middle and high school students in the first 6 weeks of this year were a failing grade because of virtual learning. Was it really because of virtual learning, or did kids just want to play the games all the time? Now, of course, there was a bit of a Google outage, including Google Classroom this morning for a little bit. So,
Yeah, but
but but still, I mean, if you're capable of, if you don't have to research and just do some typing up, you can use that time to, like, if, like, say you're working on a paper, you're not sure what to do, brainstorm ideas. That is one of the first things I learned in high school.
yeah, don't freaking. Okay, sing on your duff. Like, okay, for me, when I was in school, sometimes my brain functioned better when I'm listening to music. Okay, when I was in high school, I remember getting special permission from my teacher
Hmm.
to allow me to have my CD player with me. And if I was ever in a down moment or I was doing independent studies or focusing on something else, he would allow me to put my headphones on, crank my music,
Hmm.
and just focus. Because once I focus, it's hard for me to defocus.
Right. Hmm.
And
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Kids want to be with their friends again, but it's like the problem is we've got a pandemic still. And
exactly.
yes, the vaccine may be out now, but the most crucial people have to get it first, which are the healthcare workers, which is fine. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Trump actually did something right today. Okay?
Finally, you
Yes,
mean?
yes, he actually did something right. Some White House staffers could have been among the first to get the vaccine. But Trump said, let's wait for a little bit until, the most important people get it first. It's like, he actually said something right.
And that's one thing. And that's a positive. But
Hmm.
there's a second positive I have to mention that he's done that I think is overlooked. And this is my humble opinion. I'm sorry if you disagree.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, the other positive thing, the other and only real positive thing he's done in his presidency has been to push the minimum age of purchasing tobacco to 21.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
And it's smarter than I ever thought he would be.
Right. Hmm.
But I mean, some people might think that's a stupid idea. Here's the thing. Your brain as your brain doesn't stop developing until about halfway through your 20s.
Right.
That's not a joke, that's serious.
Hmm.
And if you're too young and you start smoking cigarettes or whatever,
Hmm.
you can actually affect the way your brain builds itself.
Right. Hmm.
And if you do that, if you do smoke too early, you end up where your brain your brain gets hardwired with the new connections being made
Hmm.
into being addicted to cigarettes, which would make it much, much harder for you in the future if you'd want to say quit.
Right. Anyway, we are just about out of time. I mean, we ran over, but I just want to get these two stories in because we're not going to have a Warzone Wednesday. We had our last one last week. I'll explain why. Tomorrow, of course, what we're doing is a little bit of Tune In Tuesday because all we have left, I believe, Mike, is the manga, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, because we took care
We
of
got
all the.
basically the second half of December to take care of, and then
Right.
we're done.
Yep, and that will be it for the whole year because we took care of everything. I managed to get all the CDs for the rest of the year in, so so that
Is
helped
it
a lot.
lagging again?
Now on Wednesday, this is the reason why we're not having Warzone Wednesday. We're gonna have our special guest, LaShawn Colvin, who is the creator of her graphic novel Beautiful Soldiers, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about her fundraising effort. How she got into it and so forth. And being an artist and a person of color doing this kind of thing now. Now it's becoming, you're finding a lot of these characters like say, the Falcon is now like the new Captain America in the Marvel universe or something like that. And we're getting more characters of color. Like Miles Morales and Spider-Man in that Spider-Man game for the PS5 for example. So,
I also think we need to make mention of what else is going on Tuesday,
mhm.
because it's not just the final little bit of the tune in stuff.
Mhm.
It's also the time for Frodo to eviscerate the fuck out of Apple and their business practices.
Oh yeah.
And Ashley has agreed to be a counterpoint to my arguments
Mhm.
Yes.
because she's an Apple user.
Mhm.
Yes, I am.
And the only Apple thing we have in this home is one iPod Nano.
Well, let's see. With me, I have my old iPod, an iPod Touch, iPad, and an iPhone. But those are the only four things I have. I don't have like a Mac screen, although it would have been nice to have a Mac monitor because boy, they were high quality when I used them at work.
I
But
have one Apple product at my house too, and that's the very first iPod Shirley gave me.
Yeah.
but
The
yeah,
only Apple product that I have is iTunes, and that's on my Windows laptop.
Nothing wrong with that.
well, and like I said, I I have a lot of deep-seated issues with Apple,
Mhm.
and this is coming as someone who's not only a technician but someone who is so deep in the computer world that I've been neck deep in it for
Am I ever
30
gonna wear
years.
you out, Pikachu?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
Pikachu.
Pikachu. And by the way, over the weekend, I am such a happy camper. I was able to finally get a Charizard in Pokemon Go. I've been trying for 4 years to get it.
Hey, Shirley,
Hmm.
maybe your Charizard should fight my Lugia.
Oof.
Ooh.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. And I do have enough candies to get a Magikarp into another Gyarados. So,
But yeah, so tomorrow expect there to be a lot of fireworks and a lot of points made
hmm,
for Apple and against Apple.
right.
I will say though, I'm going to give Apple a bit of credit before Tuesday. Okay? Because they were the ones to originally create the idea of a smartphone.
Ah, gotcha.
I give them credit for that.
Hmm. Yeah.
But that's not what That's not where I'm gonna focus my attention.
Nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Then on Thursday, you know what? I've got a question. What would you guys like to do? Nearly Naughty Mad Libs or Nothing But Among Us?
Nothing but Among Us.
Among Us, Among Us.
So
Among Us.
voted. Nearly Naughty Mad Libs. We'll take another break.
Woo!
Honestly, we've been having a lot of fun with Among Us.
Hmm.
And remember, last week, the imposters won 15-0.
Actually,
No,
15 to
that was
2.
52.
And we
15 to
get to
2,
show
yeah.
off the hide and seek variant too.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's been fun.
yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
to explain the hide and seek variant, I reduced the view of the imposter to minimum. I increased the view of the crewmates to max.
Hmm.
When the round starts, you announce who the imposter is.
Hmm.
Whoever it is has to, well, we are going to play a variant on the variant where we don't deactivate comms because it's a bitch, but the normal variant says disable comms. But the the uh the imposter has to count to 10.
Hmm.
Everybody scatters.
Yep.
And you do not report bodies unless you want to die,
Yeah.
because the idea is he
The
has
idea.
to find y'all.
Yeah, and if you finish your task, if everyone else finishes their task first, the team wins.
Yep.
Game's over, yeah.
Hmm.
But uh after you finish your tasks, you can either run around like a chicken with your head cut off and distract the person
Hmm.
that's the imposter,
Uh huh.
or you can hide.
Yeah. And there's actually now there's one pot in the one pot, one spot in the storage room where it's a great hiding spot. Now I also discovered something else. If you have to go destroying asteroids in the balcony in Mirror HQ, the best thing to do is go behind it.
Yeah,
That way, nobody will see you, and you can actually finish the task without the possibility of getting killed.
unless of course you're like me and unless of course your imposter is me and I check every corner.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
But it's
Oh,
still,
the
it's still, it's still pretty intriguing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna hide over here behind the thing. Because the thing is, as long as you're in close proximity to what your task is, you don't have to be in front of it. You can be like behind it, especially in that one in the reactor room with that stupid Simon Says bit.
Well,
Oh, I
I
hate.
finally did figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, Ash,
yeah.
why don't you make yourself visible before the end of the episode?
Come, come,
All
come.
right. Sorry, I'm coming.
She's coming. Hold on, folks.
And one other thing. I watched The Mandalorian over the weekend. I can't believe Pedro Pascal was able to show his face for more than 5 minutes.
Come back. There you go.
Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take for you to turn a few shades of red?
Not very
Oh, quit
long.
picking on her.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm teasing you, don't worry.
It's all good.
All right.
So we'll end this show here because we really got
Who
nothing
are
else
we going to go play Among Us afterwards?
Yeah.
Not me. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm super sleepy.
Me?
We are.
Yep,
JJ probably
we'll play.
will too for a bit.
Alright.
Yep.
Yeah, I
All
am.
right,
And,
Shirley?
And,
So-
and also Sandra
Shirley?
if she wants to as
Mhm.
well.
Surely it's good to see you smiling.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah. Let's just say this. I'm just gonna say this. Yesterday was not one of my better days, but thank God it was Sunday.
I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah.
So what I'm
Okay.
gonna do is I'm going to play the ending first. So let's get that.
Smile, it makes the world wonder what you're up to.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles.
Yeah, smiles, Mr. Rourke. It makes people wonder what you're up to.
I'm Miss Odor, your host. Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island. The plane, boss, the plane.
The plane, boss, the plane.
You
Look at
do a
me,
better. You better do a little. What was his name?
Danny.
Hervé Villachet, something like that.
No, I mean in the show.
Tattoo.
Oh God, that's Jesus. I'm just having that.
What is
Wow.
this?
Are
What
you
is
okay,
this?
Mike?
I'm good. I'm just messing around because Jan says smile, smile. I'm like, okay, I'll smile too. Oh,
No,
Yeah. Oh, one
here's
thing.
what we.
I forgot to mention on Friday, our last show of the season for 2020. It's gonna be a combo. Family friendly Cards Against Humanity first, followed by Among Us second, and it's gonna be a 2 hour party.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo! Yes.
Um,
I
and
don't like that.
Okay,
there's
go.
a chance that at some point we may start playing some new versions of Among Us.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
Uh,
fun to learn.
Hmm.
well,
Yeah, and I can hardly wait for the new airship map to come out next
Oh
year.
God,
Me
Oh
too.
yeah,
yes.
that looks good.
Yes.
And you get to climb ladders.
Yep. Well, anyway, it's time to wrap things up. So, I'm just gonna start and say it. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Have a great night. Have a safe night. Stay warm. Stay dry. And be ready for that snow later on this week up in the
Don't
Northeast.
you mention that. Snow, it's a four-letter word.
Yeah. But
it's
anyway,
a four-letter word that I hate.
I don't blame you. But anyway,
Ay, ay, ay.
we will see you tomorrow night for part Tune In Tuesday and part Apple Grievances. Or we could call it Apple Festivus, right?
Whatever Festivus is.
Festivus is something that was, what was it? It was made up on a I think I don't remember, it was Seinfeld or something like that, where
Seinfeld.
people could air their grievances over Christmas.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Uh, tomorrow the people who listen to the show, I want you to understand that while I don't like Apple, I do appreciate their what they've done.
Hmm.
Uh, this iPod that I have that Shirley gave me
Hmm.
is as big as the middle part of my palm.
I believe it. All right. Well, we better get out of here because we all some of us need to get some sleep. Some of us are ready to play Among Us, and so forth and so on. So
I'll play for you, Shirley, and I'll try not to get killed.
okay. Well, anyway, everybody have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night, y'all.
Now
Good
you
night.